So session 4 of gratitude is the best attitude. And we said earlier session that entitlement is the world's pattern of doing things, and it's actually opposed to thankfulness. Some years ago I read a book by John Bevere, and it was called The Bait of Satan, and it was about how he likes to get people to take offence within the church, take offence at one another, because this breaks unity and causes division and weakens the church. We take offence because we believe we've been wronged. If we have a strong sense of entitlement, then our sense of offence is going to be very strong. That person's contravened my rights, or they've upset my dignity, and I'm going to fight to have that offence dealt with, or I'll leave and I'll never come back. It's the weapon of the enemy. We're called to see things differently, and this starts with a sense of thankfulness for all that God has done for us. When we see that we are someone who has the forgiveness of God that we don't deserve, if we see that he has a special purpose for our life and wants to use us in his scheme of things, it alters how we see other people and what they do. You see, if I am someone who is undeserving of God's love and forgiveness, and yet he's given it to me by his grace, then the person who's just upset me is also somebody undeserving of God's love and forgiveness, but is under his grace. And with that mindset, I'm able to forgive and restore relationship. Entitlement is me-centered, whereas gratefulness is God-centered. We live in a society that is very strongly advocating individual rights, and this is good. We need to care for people's rights, but it can go too far, and the rights of one individual become more important than the good of others, or my rights take precedence over my responsibility. Self-centeredness can become rife, and it's very easy to fall in with this without realising what we're doing. It's a very natural response to get upset when someone wrongs us. It takes maturity to make the choice not to be upset and to treat that other person with love and dignity. And that all stems from a mindset about who we are. We're not deserving of God's love, but he's lavished his love upon us. When we come to Jesus, he gives us a brand new story. He gives us a purpose and a hope. And that is then giving us the humility to see others as God sees them. And only then will entitlement begin to fade. Instead of fighting with the enemy's tool of offence, we fight with God's tools of grace. Michael Green, a theologian, tells the story of how one time he spoke with a black South African leader, and he said to him, "How do you deal with it when white people humiliate you?" His reply was, "When I'm asked to do some menial task and I'm humiliated, I do it. And then I just say to them, is there anything else I can do to help you?" And he says it just takes the wind straight out of their sails. To be able to be like that, we need to be someone who is secure in who we are. We need to know how much we owe God and how much he has given us so freely.
Giver of grace, how priceless your love for me, purer than silver, more costly than gold. Giver of life, all that I ever need, strength for my body and food for my soul. Oh, you are good, so good to me, yes, you are good, so good to me, oh, you are good, so good to me, yes, you are good, so good to me. Giver of hope, rock of salvation, tower of refuge that there in my pain. Now I'm secure, loved for eternity, showered with blessings and lavished with grace. Oh, you are good, so good to me, yes, you are good, so good to me, oh, you are good, so good to me, yes, you priceless your love for me, purer than silver, more costly than gold. Giver of life, all that I'll ever need, strength for my body and food for my soul. Oh, you are good, so good to me. Yes, you are good, so